Hi, this is Janet from Try It Like It Create It, and today I am working on what's called a C.A.S.E challenge, where we are challenged to produce a similar project to another user or YouTuber's project. And so I was chosen to be inspired by Kathy's Creative Cards, and I believe her last name is Hasselbeck. I apologize if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. I will put a link to her YouTube and blog down below in the description. The technique I wanted to use is called an Eclipse technique, which I have never tried before, and I liked the look of it. I have liked the look of it. I didn't know it was called Eclipse, and I've never done it before. So I'm going to be doing this on a small little card. So what I have in front of me here are the inks that I'm going to use, and then I've already cut my paper. So I have a little greeting card here, and I have extra cardstock to lift the word up off the surface, and then I have the piece that I'm actually going to be stamping and working on. I'm using this small die cut that says Celebrate from Whimsy Stamps, and then I'm going to use this circular stencil. I'm not really sure what the name of this stencil is, from Tim Holtz's collection. So I'm going to be working with that first. And the first thing I saw that Kathy did was when she was working, and I'm using a cosmetic brush to apply the ink. When she was using her stencil and her cosmetic ink, or excuse me, her cosmetic brush and the ink, she went directly into the palette. It's the palette of the stamp pad itself. So I thought that was really interesting. I've never worked it that way before. I've always stamped it onto a usable surface and then gone into the work. So I'm going to try her technique of going directly onto the stamp. And I'm using 3 different colors. I'm going to use a green, a purple, and kind of a teal color. So here's my first layer of dots, and then I'm just using a baby wipe to clean off my brush. And then I'm going to put on the next layer of color, which will be the purple, and I'm just randomly choosing where to place this, and hopefully it will look festive when I'm done. And so that's kind of the look I'm going for, is a festive looking technique. And then here's going to be the last layer. I'm trying to decide if they're big or small. I guess we'll do small. Sorry, I'm a little bit off frame. I just realized that, and I will fix that in just a minute after I put this color on. Alright, so here's the piece I've created that I'm going to use and work with the Eclipse technique. So the next thing I want to do is, after I get this to dry a little bit, it looks like I've got just a little bit here that isn't dry, so I'm going to just go over that with my paper towel to make sure everything is dry. Okay, I think that'll work. So I'm going to use my Cricut Kettlebug to cut this out, and I don't think me using the machine is going to fit on screen, but just so you can see here, going to do multiple passes because first I'm going to cut the colored paper. So I'm going to put the paper down and then decide where I want this placed. And if you're worried about it shifting or moving on you, you can always tape it down. But I think I'm going to be okay here with this. So I'm going to give this a go. And hopefully there you can see it's cut out. So I need to remove that, but I think I'm going to leave it in place because I want to keep those little teeny centers of the E's in place for right now. And now I'm going to cut out a couple more goes with this die so that I can raise it up for the Eclipse technique. And if all of these cut, yeah, that would be great. If all of these kind of cut yet stay together for me, that would be fantastic, so that I can use the little centers and line them up correctly when I go to glue it all together. So I'm on my second pass. With the white paper, and I'm going to do 3 layers and hopefully that will work. Hopefully that's what I mean by that, is that there's enough layers to raise it up high enough, because I'm not really sure with this technique how many layers I need. And I'm just doing it out of the same white cardstock, but I have seen it done in different colored cardstocks, and that gives a really nice little edge or shadow effect to the piece as well. So something to consider. All right, let me get this Cuttlebug out of the way and get reset up here. So here we have all of our parts. What I'm going to do, I think, trying to think about this, I think I'm going to use a little bit of purple tape. Over the words to hold those negative pieces in place. And then I'm going to go in and remove the word, hopefully leaving the little pieces behind. Okay, I'm back. I'll just share with you what I've done here is that I have weeded out this sentiment here that I die cut from the textured or from the patterned page that I created, and I've used a piece of purple tape to hold the little centers of the letters in place. And then I finished with 3 additional pieces in white cardstock and getting out the little pieces from the centers of the letter, which took a bit of time and a little bit of fussy work. You can see on this one, hopefully, oops, sorry about that. Hopefully you can see on the B on this one, it was a little bit fuzzy, a little bit hard to get that taken care of right here. So I've gone in with an X-Acto knife when necessary to clean some of that up. So now it becomes time to layer everything together, and I am going to use some glue to put this piece onto the card shape. I remember I'm working with a small card here, so using a larger sentiment would be a lot easier, but I'm using what I had in stock, and then I'm going to go in and with my glue just touch into these little pieces to hold them down in place. All right, now I'm going to place that onto my card, and I have a feeling there's going to be a little bit of fussy work taking the purple tape off and working with those little pieces. So I'm just eyeballing the placement here, and then I'm going to go in and pick off the purple tape and actually just kind of roll it back and use my X-Acto knife to hold those little bits in place. And one more to go. Okay. So I just want to double check that I have those pretty well placed between the letters where they belong, because while the glue is wet, I can obviously move those pieces around as needed. All right, and in fact, I can start by getting the first piece even in place. So I'm just going to put this white one right into the card itself. Just to make sure I have everything lining up correctly. Alright. So that's a nice enough look as itself, but it's really not the Eclipse technique that I was looking for. So we're going to go into these pieces and layer them up so we get a raised effect from the card. I'm hoping 3 layers is enough. You might like to work with a tweezer or the back of a paintbrush when you're trying to do little lineup details like this. My background is in graphic design, and my X-Acto knife is like my best friend. So I use it a lot as an additional extension of my hand. And if you're not that confident with it as a tool, I recommend against it because you can easily cut yourself. Okay, so we have 2 layers here. Now I'm going to put the colored layer on top of this after I get enough glue down to hold it in place. And then we'll place on our card. If you're wondering about the glue I'm using, it's called the Best Glue Ever. It's made by Scrap Perfect. I'll provide a link for purchase on Amazon. And the tip is a no clog writing tip that gets it's purchased separately from the glue itself and gets added to the bottle. And it's amazing for small little details. And I've been using mine for quite a while, and like it says, it's no clog. I have never had issue with it getting clogged up. So here I'm just fussing with some details, getting everything lined up. Alright, so we're now ready to put that onto the card. And so one more attempt at gluing this little teeny word. I do like this inlaid look that I have here, and I might do something with that in the future, maybe with a different color. Or I could see doing it, you know, in the blue that I used. What I'm already seeing here now is that the 3 layers of thickness is just enough to give this a raised look. which I'm happy about. And that's, hopefully you can see, that's looking pretty good, and I like the edge being white and clean, although a different color could be nice as well. I think what I might do is just go along the edge of the card with a little bit of that blue pad to give it a little edge. So just to show you, this is no clog cap, and it comes with this needle in the lid, and you just place that into the tube. Of course, doing it on camera, there we go. And that keeps it from being no clog. So let me grab my blue stamp pad, and let's just, I'm going to take a scrap here and just go over the edge to see what that will look like. So if I don't press too hard, I will just have a nice little edge to the card. Okay, so I'm glad I tested that out. And then I'm just going to go lightly, even over the folded edge. You know, it might have even been nice to do it over or around the colored paper, but there, so you can see, hold it up against white, so you can see that the edge has a slight color to it. One other thing that I noticed that Kathy did with her work was that she often does a little teeny bit of something on the inside of her card, and so I'm going to just do that as well along the bottom here, and I've done it on other cards, but I'm just going to line up the stamp and just kind of use what was left, or excuse me, I'm lining up my stencil, just using the ink that was left on the stencil to give it a little hint of what was on the outside to the inside. So yeah, I kind of like that. Got some fingerprints here on the inside, and I can always cover that up with another piece of paper once that dries. But overall, I'm happy with the technique of this, what's called an eclipsed letter, and that's a cute little card. So I'm glad to have been given Kathy as the person to be inspired by, and to finally be able to try this technique out. I don't think it'll be my last attempt at it. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and follow the links below for materials and links to Kathy's site and post as well. Thanks for watching. Okay, so just to show you a little bit extra, since I had some smears on the inside of the card, I decided to keep them and work with them. And like I said, I like to always add a little surprise or a little bit of the outside detail to the inside. So this might surprise you, but I went ahead and just kind of distressed the whole inside. I just used the ink that was left on the stencil and did this top part here, and you saw me do the bottom part here, and it left a little line right there, and I like the look of that line, so I cut a piece of Rhynia foil in gold and put that on there for a little shimmer. So it really is like this subtle card with this raised type on the outside, and then as you open it up, it has all of this activity going on in the inside. So I kind of really enjoy the difference between the two, inside and outside. So I just wanted to share that final touch with you.